Hello everyone, and in this video I'm going to talk about the paper from Quirklogic. Now this paper device is a 13-inch device. It's based on the Sony DPT hardware, so you'll get the same 13-inch design. You'll get their typical pen that comes with the Sony device, and on this one here you'll see I put on a little rubber grip onto it because it is a little slippery when you're holding it. It comes with two buttons. Quirklogic just released an update last week, so now both buttons work. One is for erasing and the other is for highlighting. So if I write something here, I can use the eraser to erase that there, and if I want to do highlighting, you can see here I can go ahead and highlight. Now the pen comes with Quirklogic provides a couple different nibs with the device. When they ship it out to you, you'll get the pen, the device, the tips, the tip remover, and you'll also get a charging cable. This does use micro USB, and yeah, that's pretty much it in the box. Now the nibs that comes with the pen here, you get two nibs here which gives you that pencil feel, and then you'll get two with that gives you a pen feel. I prefer the pen feel a little bit better or over the pencil, but the pencil, it really feels good. It feels like you're writing with a pencil. So yeah, the only downside I guess to the pencil one is it does wear down a bit more than the pen tip that I'm using here. But either way, I do like that they provide both ends of packaging, so you can try them out at however you like. Now from the actual software itself, so because they're using Sony's hardware, really what they have to do is differentiate themselves at a software layer. And most devices that are coming out these days, it's really the software that makes them. And Quirklogic decided to start off with the note-taking experience, but more of a collaborative type user experience when you're writing in their software or on their notes. Now their notes have an infinite design to them, so you can kind of zoom in and you have infinite space that you can write on the canvas here. You can write anywhere on this canvas, and you can expand it as large as you like. Now whether this is a benefit to you is up to each person, but they do have more of a business huge e-ink screen that they provide. And I'd say the software is really suited to that large e-ink screen that they do provide for business users, versus maybe, a more personal e-ink device. Now this does add some benefits, not just to the fact that they have this infinite design here with their software. They do have the collaboration that comes with it. So one of the other differentiating things here with Quirklogic's paper is that you can collaborate with multiple people and also on multiple devices. Here I'll bring up Quirklogic's on my mobile device, and let me create a new note here. Go in here. Now they do allow you to connect to Google and Dropbox as well. So you can grab documents from Google or Dropbox or save to Google or Dropbox. Let me create a new note. We'll just call it test. Now I'm calling them notes. Every device typically has their own nomenclature for what they call a note. It's a workbook in Quirklogic, so I'm creating a workbook. It's used for note taking, and then what they have is they have pages to the workbook. Now to get back to the collaborative nature here of this device, I have the mobile software. If I go ahead and sync it, you see that a new test has popped in here. If I click on it, there is a little bug with the Android app. I noticed I don't get this issue with on the iOS side of things, but when I click on the workbook for the first time, for some reason it brings me directly to this menu again. So Quirklogic, that's a bug. You might want to fix that and look into it. If I go into it a second time and I do it, then it will actually open up that workbook, no problem. So that workbook is open there. I'm going to also eject the pen from from my note device, just to show you that if you click at the bottom here, you'll see on the mobile device, it has a little pen where you can edit and also an eraser. So if I go ahead here and I type note 9, say on here, what will happen is you'll see that it's writing that on the actual Quirklogic Papyr device. Now I can do that same thing here with the iPad. They have an iOS app as well. So let me go ahead and bring that up. So we go ahead into there, we'll put them side by side, and if I pull out the pen here, see if select the edit at the bottom, we'll go iPad, and you can see here how on all three devices that updates somewhat real time, right? So it's good for collaboration if you have students or clients, or you're just doing some kind of whiteboard session, which is where I see the big benefit to Quirklogic software is for, you know, whiteboarding things and also being collaborative. So I'll go ahead and take these out of the way, and then let's get into the Quirklogic device itself. But again, that collaborative piece there really highlights kind of one of the standout benefits to having this particular device. Now, if you're in the workbook, you do get to press and hold, and you get this circular menu with some different options. So I can clear the screen, the entire screen, anything that I've written there on this one page. You can copy paste, you can add in objects. So any shapes here you want to add in, it puts in the shapes. Now the gestures, I haven't gone into detail on the gestures. In order to move something, you need to use your 2 fingers. And you can see here how I can move that around and go ahead and stamp it in place. If I want to select that again, either I can swipe through it like I just did there. You can see it changes to this little dotted outline. You can also circle the object as well, and you'll see how that selects. Go ahead and put that in place. Again, we can write on here. And the fill is actually pretty good. And I always make this mistake when I'm typing the name of paper. So we were in the menu. Let's go ahead, press and hold. As I mentioned, we can add in shapes. You can change the pen thickness. You can change the color. And these do show up when you export to PDF, or I think they let you export in PNG as well. You can change the background or template. One thing, when looking at this particular one here, you see the image and you might assume that you can add an image to the workbook or the note. This image is really just to be a background. It will not be an object like the shape. You won't be able to just move your images around and resize them and manipulate them. It ends up being the background, and this is really what this is for, changing the background or the template. You can add a page, you can delete a page, and you can also undo and redo. Now, one thing here on this particular workbook, in the mobile app, it does show page of total number of pages. For some reason here, they omitted that. Hopefully they update the software so that you at least know how many pages you do have. Here you can see I only have 1 page, but if I go ahead and add another page, you can either do that from here, or you can swipe up to the left from the bottom right, and you can add in another page. So you see we have 3 there. If you want to change back and forth from one page to the other, you swipe from the higher left down to the right corner, and that will take you to the left page, and you go from right to left in order to go the other way around. Let me see. So back into the menu one more time. Let's go ahead and change, say, the theme here. So I can change this, and I can, now, I guess before I make the change, this is pretty critical, the alert that they give you that they're going to add the background and change the background. So if you have your own custom image in there, just note you're going to erase the entire background or overwrite on top of that background. So things will get removed. This is the line. Show the grid. There's the grid, and it looks pretty nice. So if we go ahead, type on there, let's show changing the background one more time. We'll change it back to clear, and you're here. Now, if you want to grab your own custom, we click the image. Here's another bug here. So Quirklogic, if you're looking at this video, and you probably are, when you go into insert something here, by default, it looks like it wants to sign in, or it chooses Dropbox. Sometimes I get this message, but I'm already signed into Google, and it kicks you out from time to time. I'm not sure if this is something you can maybe have it so that it can let you stay signed in a little longer. It sometimes become a pain having to keep re-signing in to the actual service. We'll go ahead and sign in here. It's not hard once you do go through this process. It's no different than how you would do on another device from a giving access perspective to this software. We'll go ahead and allow. And now we can see the files and folders here on my Google Drive. If we did Dropbox, you get a similar layout here. So I have this PNG. Let's go ahead and add this PNG here as a background. If you select a PDF with multiple pages, it will show all the different pages, but it'll only let you select one. We'll go ahead and insert. And you can see how I inserted this image. And you also see my text here. It looks like the text is either on top or bottom. It kind of looks like it's on the bottom and it's messed up. But if I go ahead and select it, I can easily go ahead here and I can move that out of the way. We go ahead and select, lock it in, and we're there. Let me see. So that's this here is on inserting an image or background, really is what it is. Again, it's not an image. I won't be able to resize that image unless I'm resizing the entire page, right? Again, it's not its own object. If I go ahead and delete, we can select the object, and then we get options of what we can do with that particular object itself. I'm going to go ahead and delete that just to show that I cannot select, again, that image that I installed here because it is a background. Now, let's go ahead and see what we can do if we import. With these three dots, you get another menu here, contextual menu for Quirklogic's software. And this lets you, again, either look at the library of your workbooks. You can create a new workbook. You can delete the workbook. And understand that the delete here is for the workbook itself, the entire workbook. If you want to delete a page, you do that from the menu here. You delete just a page. You can also save a copy. We can share. We can insert, export, and then you can get into the settings from here. So if we want to import either your PDF, a page from your PDF, or multiple pages in a PDF, this is how you do it. So you click the insert, you choose where the PDF is, and then you select that particular PDF. So in this case, I'll go ahead and choose this one here. This one has over 100 pages, so it will take a little bit of time to import or show all the different pages that we want to import. So now all the pages have come up. They're available. I can select one or multiple pages at a time here. I can even select all pages in this option. So if you use the insert from that menu, this is kind of the difference from an option perspective of what you get. You cannot select multiple pages when you're trying to import that image or background or from the workbook itself. Only in that menu will you have the ability to select all pages. So when you select all pages here, you can go ahead and insert, and it will bring in every page into that workbook. And then from there, you can annotate and write on each of the different pages at your leisure, however you like. It does look really nice once you do import them in. The only thing here is that it does not support native PDF files, and it doesn't support native EPUB files. So I think that's a kind of a downside. Maybe that's something that will come in an update to where right now it only supports this QLW file type. It would be nice if I can put in all my files and also edit them or mark them up without having to do this import feature here. One other thing, if I want to delete multiple pages, I don't have that option. So I can go ahead and tap on the number at the bottom. I can see all the pages that are here. I can select and I can move pages around, which is pretty nice, but there's no way if I want to delete multiple pages, you cannot. You can only delete one page at a time, which again, if I made a mistake and imported way too many, it's a little cumbersome to have to go in and delete one page at a time. So if they can add in, into maybe this area here, when I select on a page, give me options on whether I want to move them or delete them, and then also give you the ability to select one or more as well. I think that will add to this here. Some other things that I think are missing from the device, areas of improvement, is that, again, the whiteboarding type functionality is what you get out of Quirklogic software. You don't get, say, bookmarks. You don't get layers. There's some other note-taking features where if I want to select something and leave a note on it in the particular page, you cannot do that now either. There is no split screen. From a functionality or value standpoint, your value really comes in of using this device as either a simple e-ink device where you can write on e-ink, and also the collaborative whiteboarding feature. If that's something that you've been looking for, then there's really no other device that I've seen that has that functionality. So this would be a perfect device for that. So to wrap this thing up, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I think I've already made this video a little longer than I wanted to. I'll create a separate video where I go a little bit more in depth into the different menus of the device, and a little bit more in depth into the note-taking experience that you get out of this device. So areas of improvement. The gestures. Now, the gestures pretty much take advantage, most of them are with multiple fingers, 2 fingers in general. I think it would be a lot nicer if I can, say, put an object down or select some text or handwriting on a device, select it, and then be able to move it with 1 finger versus having to put 2 fingers down. I'm not sure why I have to do it with 2 fingers, but what I found is that some of the time my fingers will open or close as I slide the object or selected text, and it changes again the size of this. Then I have to figure out how to resize it again. It's not that hard, but again, it happens more times than not. So it would be nice to just be able to move this here with 1 finger. So optimizing the gestures for, I guess, use on this particular tablet, and also make it a little more consistent. It'll make it a little more consistent with how you would move things around on other devices as well. I think that's an area where things can be improved. The number at the bottom, again, just one little tweak there, maybe updating this particular thing in software. One of the biggest downsides of this device, and maybe I should have pointed this out in the beginning, is the battery life. The battery life is poor, is very bad on the device. You can, at least from what is, expected to come out of this device. Now, you can last, from my battery test I've done without charging it, using it all day, leaving it on with Wi-Fi, the device will stay powered, or at least from 100 down to 5% for 24 hours. That is, again, the battery drain on this thing is, I don't think that's really good. This should be able to be optimized in software. I do find that the Wi-Fi and the syncing of the notes is probably where the optimization needs to be for this to start conserving on battery. They are working on it. In their latest release from last week, there was some battery improvements, but I still think that there's a long way to go with this on the battery front. And as I mentioned, from a just general text note-taking experience, there's a lot of other features that can be added to the software. So, but again, it is a software thing. They can push that forward as fast or as slow as they want. We're on a 1.0 version, so there's a long way to go, and I think the improvements will come. Quirklogic has been very responsive to me when I email them, and I've been able to talk to them about some of the features and capabilities, my quirks, no pun intended, with the product and the software itself. And they've, again, been very responsive to that, taking it back to their developers and trying to work on things and improve things. So with that said, the paper device is a really nice device. Is from a value standpoint, there's not a lot of flexibility in what you can do with the device, but if you're buying it for the collaborative software piece, and if you just want a general note-taking focused type solution for your handwriting and your notes, then this device, it works very well. My name is Anton. If you like the information, you like the video and the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. I really like providing my feedback and reviews on some of these devices here, and helping people out, help them make a decision on which device they would purchase. No one buys these devices or gives me these devices. I pay for them myself out of my own pocket so that I can see how they work in, with my workflow, my daily life. So I think the feedback that I provide is, again, it's from my personal experience. It is not something where the companies are paying me to glorify the different hardware and software that comes on these products. So hopefully, again, that's helpful. And I look to provide more content like this in the future. So with that said, have a great day.